Hi there, hi there. It is July of 2023, and I am Trisha Broderick with Ignite Insight and Innovation. And it is July. I'm trying to comprehend that, but I'm still struggling. Although I'm pretty sure July is going to fly by because I'm going on a little vacation and then Agile 2023 is happening. And so I'm very excited about July, which also means it's going to it'll be August before I even know it. But today we have a big topic in terms of what I wanted to rant about, get on a soapbox about. Who knows? Who knows what will come out of my mouth? It always happens, right? But it's kind of tips for project managers looking to explore Agile. People find it surprising to know that I still have a PMP, or a project management professional certification. First, I got it in 2005, and I keep paying PMI because I never want to take that exam again. But there's kind of this, ever since I was part of the community and watching it, there was always this kind of, get project managers out of the way, and there's no use in project management, and that's not a valuable skill. And all of that is just garbage. It's just garbage. And it was garbage whenever any community is trying to dismiss an entire community. It just doesn't even make sense. Versus understanding some of the dynamics of what project managers bring to the table and helping them better leverage their ultimate goal within Agile as well. So this is kind of my 2 cents, rants, pet peeves. I don't know where this will completely go, but I watch a lot of commentary, and I attended like a webinar once that was just like introduction to Agile for project managers. And I hated it. I hated it because it was just like, well, how do you just make people know that you're valuable? Give them a lot of reports and they'll think you're really busy. No. So consider this my ode to project management, what I realized and learned as I was going through it, and why absolutely we should be having more project managers in the Agile community and exploring what Agile means across the background. So at a base, one of the things that I see happening a lot is we have team leaders, whether that team leader is called a scrum master, whether that is called a team leader, whether it's a functional manager, it doesn't matter. Whoever's kind of leading a team. And traditionally in project management, it was the project manager title, right? But whoever's kind of leading the team, when I was a project manager leading the team, right, was me worrying about two things. One, delivery and getting the things done, but two, also the team delivering and getting things done. Now, I will own, as a project manager, my priority was the delivery. Like in my mind, that project, the team was the resource to meeting the need of getting the project done, right? Like that was the focus. In Agile, we kind of understand that the only way you really deliver that project is by focusing in on the team and helping the team to get better, and what that means. And so for me, although it was hard to make this transition, it actually aligned with what I wanted anyways. I wanted to deliver. I wanted the team to do well. I wanted to be part of the team. So I don't always understand what the contention is, because I didn't ever really see it. It was hard for me to make and explore Agile as a project manager, but it kind of just made sense when I started following some of these tips, and how to really embrace Agile while still honoring my skills and knowledge as a project manager too, and bringing that to the table, just as I do with my developer skills or any other skills that I bring to the table. So here are some of my tips of things that I look at, and I forgot to turn it to the, somebody said hi. So hi, it doesn't say who, just says LinkedIn user, but hi, with this. So for tip number one is if you're a project manager starting to get into the Agile space, really focus on building your facilitation skills. I stunk at this, right? I was very good at being efficient and getting things done and just making the decision, but I wasn't always great about engaging all voices. I wasn't always great at getting collaboration. I wasn't always great at getting co-intelligence and wisdom. I really had to lean into what facilitation meant. Facilitation wasn't just an agenda and taking notes. It was actually creating environments where people could collaborate, where people could learn together, where people could make decisions together. And I really needed to hone in on those skills. Nobody was teaching me those. Nobody was highlighting those skills as a leader and what that meant. But the more that I learned facilitation skills, the easier it was for things to start scaling and for me not to be a hub, because I was engaging the wisdom of the crowd. I was gaining better answers because I was working together with the team. And I didn't have to be the one that made every decision, which meant confidence was increasing, scaling was happening, all of those things. So really take some time to invest, whether you read a book like Marsha Acker's The Art and Science of Facilitation, or Jean DeBaker's Collaboration Explained, or you take a class like the Advanced CSM, where I focus on facilitation skills. Whatever you're going to do, just really hone in on those skills. I wish I had done it much sooner in my transition from project management and when I was exploring Agile, because for me, giving up that control was so hard that if I had known I wasn't really giving up control, I was expanding control. I was actually increasing the control that we had, but I had to learn the skills in order to do that. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, really focus on, I mentioned it just a second ago, but let me dig into it as well. As a project manager, I felt that weight of knowing every answer. I felt that weight of having every decision. I felt the weight of basically making sure all ducks were in a row, no balls were dropping. And what I didn't understand was, well, I did understand. I just tried to ignore it, that doesn't scale as the hub, right? And it's not possible. I mean, how arrogant of me to have pretended that I could know all of those things. And so the more that I focused on building co-intelligence. And what I mean by co-intelligence, it's not just in my team, person A and person B's knowledge together. It's that when person A and person B collaborate together, they learn together, they actually unlock a whole new set of intelligence that neither one individually even had, but their joint combination unlocks new potentials. And so when I started thinking about really embracing that diversity, really embracing that collective wisdom, and building co-intelligence, building learning environments, collaborative environments, things got done faster. Then I didn't have to worry about all the ducks in a row, because everybody was worrying about the ducks in a row. Everybody was making sure no balls were dropping in different ways and in different times. And I think we so much try and put that on our shoulders. But the problem is when that's only on our shoulders, nobody else feels that sense of ownership and responsibility. And so the more that you kind of share that responsibility, the more that you're creating an environment where they're building their awareness, their autonomy, their intelligence together, issues that you kept you up at night suddenly start getting handled a lot quicker, a lot easier. Again, this is not go read just this one book and you'll have all these skills. Creating a learning and a collaborative environment is a whole skill set in itself. Again, it's areas that I had to understand how to create kind of a shared purpose, how to leverage activities like that are in like my impactful training and speaking course, right? Like just different ways to engage people collaboratively together so that they can learn. Wasn't just like, ooh, stick them in a room and hope it all works out. No. It has to be intentional. And it was an area that I needed to work on, was really being intentional about building the co-intelligence, the learning that was coming in there. 3, teach your knowledge. Like, project management is about risk. My kids like to tease me that I'm the just in case mom, right? Like we're about just in case, bring that extra outfit, just in case, bring the umbrella. Like I live for risk response. Don't judge me. I see you. Don't you judge me. Okay. But the reality is that's come in super handy in my career, but in my projects and in my teams. And just because I shouldn't be the only one doing it doesn't mean I don't have knowledge. And I think a lot of times we tell project managers, well, if you get into Agile, you'll stop being the hub, you'll stop being the important like, no, you've got to help people learn. Transfer your knowledge, teach it, learn how to teach. That's another skill you have to build. But like teach teams various risk responses. Teach them that there's more than just mitigation, that you can actually exploit a risk, that you can turn a risk into an opportunity. Like teach them about sharing risk responses. Teach them different ways to kind of look at how to handle risks so before they become issues, right? Teach them about critical path. Oh, please teach people about critical path. I wish more teams understood critical path and risk response to huge core like primary concepts in project management, and teams just don't understand it. Teams just are not aware of it. I don't care about your formulas of estimated time to completion and things, because that's all garbage when it comes to knowledge work, because it's all unknown. But that doesn't mean all concepts in project management won't work in knowledge work. That's just crazy. Critical path, risk response, key things that do work. In fact, Agile is all about risk strategy and response. So lean into it, but teach it. Don't just do it for yourself and do it on behalf of the teams. Teach them how to do various risk assessments. Teach them how to do risk responses. Teach them how to consider critical path and where to spend their time, because there's always going to be a fire, and which fires are most important and which ones are not in terms of that delivery. So learn how to teach, and teach that valuable knowledge that you have. Let it scale. See, noticing a trend, scaling, not being the hub, see? But still valuable across the board. 4. Now I'm going to say this one, and I'm going to say it. It's kind of like saying something, and until you're actually there, will you ever really hear me? But I'm going to still say it anyways. You have to embrace the complexity. I know you love your plan. Trust me, I cried when I uninstalled Microsoft Project on my machine. I loved organizing a detailed plan. I love check marks, creating that perfect checklist, that plan, and getting those checklists across the board. But guess what? On every one of my projects, change happened. On every one of my project, risk happened. On every one of my projects, something always came up that changed that plan. And I would be mad about it. I'd be like, you're messing my plan up. But I was focusing my energy on the wrong stuff. I can focus on what went wrong and how did it go wrong and what could we have learned and why did I miss that and all of these things. Or I could focus my time on what are we going to do? Because it's always going to happen. And yes, sure, you can learn certain things and improve on things. Yes, don't take it to the extreme. But at the end of the day, the more that you embrace the unknown unknowns, the more that you will thrive in it in knowledge work, not just Agile. Agile is a mindset and a means of dealing with delivery of knowledge work. That's the goal. That's the goal, no matter what framework you use, no matter what delivery approach you do, that's always been the goal, is delivering solutions that help people. But when I hold on so tight to my plan, and because everybody in the organization wants that plan from you, it's really hard to embrace the complexity and accept that it's going to change. Because every status quo, all the best practices are telling you you're doing something wrong. And the more that you embrace that complexity, the more that you lean into the risk assessments and analysis and responses, the better the results will be. But it's scary. And I own that. It's scary. It was scary for me to let go of that control, because I thought if I planned enough, just in case, Trisha, I can make it perfect. But the problem was I was making perfect deliveries of things nobody wanted, versus embracing that complexity and allowing for the discovery of value to happen, even if it's a little messy. This will be a challenge for a lot of people, especially if you were like a pro at balancing your Microsoft project. It's like the ultimate puzzle, man. Tell you, I see you. I see you. I know. And the last one that I want to give a tip as project managers are exploring Agile and getting into it and leveraging or joining those worlds for themselves, because they should have never been separate, is think about what visuals or transparency you can do. So a lot of times we use metrics to track. Sometimes we use metrics to weaponize, let's admit it, or at least organizations do as a whole. But I'm talking about using visuals and transparency to help spot problems, to help see things, to help build those other things I was talking about before, the co-intelligence and engaging all the voices, shared ownership, right? But think about in terms of what might you have to make visible so that people care. Because I never created all those status reports because I just enjoyed them. In fact, I created a status report. I would spend hours on the status report. Oh, hours. And then I once put a read receipt on it and only one person opened it. Nobody wants to be doing the visuals for just status that nobody cares about. Think about the visuals of what would help people spot that we're overestimating all the time. Or what would be the visual that would help people realize that the balance of work isn't really self-organizing well in the team? What would be the visual that would help the team see that their quality is getting away from them? Help the team see their own problems, because when they see them, ultimately all of us are just problem solvers and we want to fix problems. So let them see the problem. Sure, you see it. You might even see it first. But telling somebody else they have a problem versus them seeing it makes a big difference in the level of effort and engagement you're going to get. Project management was never a separate thing that didn't fit with Agile. But it was centered around task-based work, not knowledge work initially. And PMI is working to improve on that and adjusting that. And so a lot of us as project managers early on were kind of set up a little bit because we didn't understand that there were two different types of work. We didn't understand that we had to embrace complexity. We didn't understand that it was unknown unknowns, because we were told, create a plan. You've got that, you execute on that plan, and you got these knowledge areas and you do these things. It's like, and all of those are still valuable information, but apply it to the right type of work in the right situations. And then pull from new information, new knowledge areas, new approaches to helping you deal with those risks. Think of Agile almost as another risk response, another tool for you to have that's going to help deliver projects. It's not a dismissal of all your current skills. Please get those critical path knowledge out there, right? It's not a dismissal of your skills. In fact, we should be merging them better and better, and we're going to see better and better results. So I will dismount now. Those are my tips of things that I did a lot when I was making the transition. And again, I shouldn't say transition. I mean, it's so locked in there that it's hard to even start separating that. When I was expanding, that's the word I'm going to use from now on. When I was expanding my tools as a leader, and that's what we all want to be doing. What do I have coming up? I have this month, I have Agile 2023 coming up that I'll be speaking with Diana Larson. I believe our book will be at the bookstore there. So we will be happy to sign anybody's books that are there with us in person. I will be at DevOps Day Des Moines in September as the keynote. And I will also be at TechWell in November as the keynote as well. So I'm super excited for these last conferences I'm going to be doing this year. So if you are at any of those, please, please, please come and see me, say hello. In terms of classes, this, again, July, I'm not doing anything public, but I do have stuff coming up. So in September, I will be doing the next Leading Amazing Teams course with Jake Calabrese. That's a leadership course focused on building coaching skills, building ability to kind of take your team to that next level of performance. the impactful training and speaking course to really help. How do you transfer your critical path knowledge to other people and make an impact with that? And in October, I'll be doing the advanced CSM, which is focused on facilitation skills that I mentioned as tip number 1 in this one. So that's in October. In addition, I did a live with Diana Larson this morning for Lead Without Blame. We'll be doing another one in August on the 4th as well. It just so happens that both of these are falling on the first Friday of the month. So some of you are like doing double doses with me on one day, but I know you just miss me. I see you. I see you. It's all good. But with that, July is here. Make the best of it and hope to see you all soon.